everybody. Welcome to Bremer College Open House. This is our first virtual open house. We are very excited about it. And we are happy that many people could join us from all over the world. So this is the age of technology, and this is great. And of course, for the ones who have joined us from Toronto, we invite you to visit us in person once the restrictions are a little bit loosened. So you could feel yourself the warm welcome, the warm atmosphere at our school. So let's start. Let's introduce our participants today. We have with us Virginia Lemieux. She's our principal. She has been teaching at Braemar College for more than 23 years. And she had the privilege of being named principal in 2016. She has two daughters, and her older daughter, Madeline, is a student of Bremer College. We hope younger one will join us for grade 9 as well. Also, we have here Sarah Schumacher, as she is our vice principal. She has been working at Bremer College for more than 7 years. She started as a Bremer College ESL camp counselor in 2013, and she taught all levels of English, also careers and civics, and she also was teaching citizenship course. And she joined our guidance team in 2017. And got her vice principal role recently, just about a year ago. Also, we have here Mike Halsby, the Director of Students Experience. Welcome, Mike. This is Mike is the person probably that our students communicate the most. He started as an English teacher about 4 years ago with us, and he's the one who encourages students to go out and make exercise. He's the one who provides them healthy snacks. He probably would be the one who they would go if they need to ask for any advice. And he's teaching English grade 11, grade 12, marketing, philosophy, physical education, and other subjects. Also, we have here with us Sean Densmore. Welcome, Sean. I asked Sean to join our open house because his name would come up the first when I would ask the students about their experience. He's very loved teacher. And also recently during our roundtable, one of our graduates mentioned to me that because of Sean, he decided to become the history teacher. So he will blame Sean for that later, I guess. Okay. And of course, I'm joking. Thank you, everybody. And here we also have our students. These are the most important people at Bremer College. And welcome Dennis, welcome Sasha, welcome Hiba, and Dogukan. Okay, so let's start with Virginia. Hello, Virginia.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Could you please tell us what is Bremer's academic curriculum and philosophy?
Well, Braemar College has a well-established history. Our students have always been participating and have high standards of academic excellence. The philosophy of education is a mix of student-centered needs. We always try to meet the needs of the students, and the parents know that they would have care at Braemar College, and they have the best teachers, and they feel the most comfortable in our school. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. So what values and programs does Bremer College emphasize?
We emphasize independence. We also emphasize well-being. Our students know that if you have growth, self-growth, and know yourself, then you can really move forward in life. It's really important to also give to the community. Our students volunteer and help each other too. And it's really something that Braemar students have always remembered and always done for each other. So this is something that other schools do too, but with Braemar, when we have all the graduates here and they come back and ask how can they help, our new students, that really warms our hearts because we know they truly care about each other.
And another question I would like to ask you, what measures does Bremer College take to keep the students and teachers safe? And how is it to be the principal during the global pandemic?
It's a very challenging time right now with the global pandemic, but our teachers and our students have told me that they know we're trying our best. In August and even July, we followed all the government mandates and directives. In each classroom, we have special antivirus fans, HEPA fans, and cleaning kits. We have isolation rooms for any students or staff that become sick. We also send them straight home if that's the case. Before they come, there's a quarantine plan, and students do have to do quarantine for 14 days, and they have to test for COVID. They aren't allowed into the building unless they have a negative COVID test. Every day, students and staff do a daily health check before they come to school. So if they have a fever, we also have thermometers in each classroom and in the school, and everybody's always checking on each other. They know, and the staff know, if they have a fever or any symptoms, they stay home. If there's any exposure to COVID, I shut down the classroom immediately and it's pivoted online until everyone has been tested and they cannot come back into the school. Usually I close it for 1 week. And once they have all negative tests, then they're allowed back into the building. So these are measures that everyone can keep everyone safe, because it's just such a virulent virus, and we are all caring about the safety and the health of everyone.
Thank you very much, Virginia. That was
you.
very informative. Now we can proceed with Sarah. And by the way, if anybody of you, the participants, have any questions, please feel free to send the question in the chat and make sure you name the person whom you address the question to. So if it's for principal, you say Virginia, principal, or for Sarah, Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello. So, Sarah, what aspects of school administration is the most exciting for you?
So the most exciting part about being a part of Braemar College is, as Tamara mentioned, I've been at the school for 7 years. So being a part of the evolution and growth. So Braemar College started off with, I believe it was the 4th and 5th floor of the school. And then now we've expanded to include the 3rd and the 1st floor. And since then, we've also tripled our student body. So it's really exciting to be a part of that growth. At the same time, in terms of the administration aspect, we've kept current with technology. So for instance, we've implemented My Blueprint in September this year, which is a career planning and post-secondary planning tool. So I get to present workshops using these tools to help students make informed decisions about their future. So I'd present on budgeting or course selection and post-secondary research. So it's really fun and exciting to be a part of that.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. So in your opinion, what would be the future students the most surprised about in our school?
I think future students would be most surprised about the diversity of our school. So we have students from all over the world that go to Braemar. So there's students from Vietnam, Russia, Nigeria, Colombia, all over, and including Canadian students too. So not only do they get a great education from our teachers, but they get the support from the students in the classroom.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Mike, are you with us here? Mike, what student activities do you have right now? And what student activities would you have if it's not a global pandemic?
If only, if only. As of this term two, in response to COVID, we have shifted most of our programming to a focus on student well-being, student physical well-being, nutritional well-being, mental, emotional well-being, all holistically dealt with each day. So whereas in the past, we would have typically liked to see our students getting out, engaging with the different organizations around us in Toronto, of course, because we can't be sending whole classes into indoor situations right now. We've focused on trying to be outdoor as much as possible. The added challenge is that now as we move into winter, that's not as possible, although we still do plan to do some hiking and outdoor work. But we have, in fact, put together a student wellness center in one of the larger rooms in our school. And our focus in that room is to provide students a space where they can, first of all, relax and gather some center for themselves and some peace. And so we've got special vitamin D lights in there. We've got projectors so they can engage with guided mindfulness. We're bringing in yoga instructors twice a week. We also have a flow and balance trainer from the local Muay Thai gym who's coming in to work with them, keeping their respiratory rates low while still engaging the body and getting all the benefits of that. We try to provide a solid nutritional program with sort of supplementary snacks throughout the day to keep their energy levels high and make sure they're at least getting those basic needs met. And hopefully the combination of all these different efforts, as well as bringing in groups like the Youth Wellness Network, who are coming in to do their first session with us next week with guided mindfulness for the students and talking about extending that in terms of the benefits for one's family, one's friend circles, and one's broader community. All of that, we hope, contributes to a better sense of holistic well-being for the students, helps them get through this tough time in a mentally healthy way.
Thank you very much, Mike. So another question, could you please compare Bremer to any other schools you previously worked with?
Well, every school is different, of course. The advantages, and I'm probably going to repeat a bit of what Sarah said previously, but when comparing Braemar with other schools is first, of course, the diversity of the student body, but also the size of the student body. I attended and have taught at schools with over 2,000 students each, and there is a very predictable loss that goes with the individual as they enter a situation where you become one of 2,000, 2,500, and students slip through the cracks. They don't get observed. The symptoms of perhaps unhealthy behavior, unhealthy lifestyles aren't witnessed by teachers in all cases. And this can lead to deterioration of potential before anybody steps in with an accommodation or an intervention. That doesn't happen here at Braemar. There are small enough classes and enough interaction between staff and students where we feel confident saying that we are observing those students on a regular basis, keeping an eye out for those negative symptoms and ready with programming to intervene at any time. The other really nice thing about this school is that these students come in determined and courageous already. They have some tools in their tool belt already that other students who perhaps are able to rely on a familiar community, a family and a household that they can return to every day don't have. And so the students become self-reliant. They also become mutually reliant on one another as they all go through this challenge together. And overall, I think that we offer a pretty unique and a very supportive environment in comparison to other schools.
Thank you very much, Mike. Now, if you don't mind, I would go back to Sean, and I would ask first Sean and then Mike. So Sean, could you please share with us a story about the most memorable student you ever had?
Sure. First of all, good morning. There have been a lot of really great students that I've had the pleasure to interact with here at the school. One that maybe stands out anyways was I think it was my second year here at the school. I was teaching grade 10 history, and I had a young man from Russia. And when students first show up, of course, they're a bit nervous, they're a bit anxious, and that maybe limits their social ability when they're in class. But I noticed with this student specifically, he wasn't still really opening up and still very quiet. And another thing that actually stood out was, well, of course, we all have our own personal fashion choices. He had a haircut that covered about half of his face. And to me, that kind of at least sends somewhat of a signal that maybe you're trying to hide from something or protect yourself. So I just started to get him to meet with me after class on break. We just talked about how his day was going. And eventually we got to the point in our kind of teacher-student relationship where he admitted that back in Russia, he was often bullied and did not enjoy his time back there. Part of it was his choice in look. Over there, it was seen as a very negative thing for a variety of reasons. And so we kept just talking and ensuring that he knew that he had my support, that any incidences that maybe he experienced either inside or outside of the classroom, I would be there to help him get through it and offer him any advice and anything that I could. And as time went on, he started to certainly open up both in terms of his social aspect, but also, of course, now into his actual work because he's more engaged in class, participating more. And while his hair continued to grow, it was behind his ears. It was no longer in front of his face. And he stayed at Braemar for about 3 more years, got involved in a lot of the student leadership activities, and is now off at university and being a successful young man. And those are the types of students I love working with. I don't think I've ever had a student that I've never not enjoyed being with and learned something from, because they teach me a lot as well.
Thank you very much, Sean. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to end up echoing a lot of the things that Mr. Dunsmore just said. I have fond memories of the student that he was just talking about as well. And that student actually was one of the first ones who was regularly coming to us with ideas for student programming and kind of gave me some of the inspiration for the ideas that we put together in our student experience program. If you put me on the spot and ask the ones who are most memorable, some of them are sitting here with us today. The 4 students we have with us are all part of our student leader cohort and have been for these past 2 years. And I'm not going to say anything that's going to make them feel too awkward, except that on a daily basis, they come to my office and sit down and give me energy and ideas that I wouldn't otherwise have. And as Mr. Dunsmore just said, that old cliche ends up being true. You do end up learning more as a teacher than you did as a student. These kids teach me, and they show me my blind spots, and they give me a little boost when I need it to continue trying to develop ideas that will support the students' well-being each day. And whatever works in this school, it's because of them. And they will end up living in my memory, undoubtedly, even if that does make them feel a little bit awkward as I say it.
Thank you, Mike. Sean, do you keep in touch with any students who have graduated already?
Yeah, actually, there's quite a few students. So I tell all my students that you never stop being my student, even when you leave my classroom. Even if I'm 60 years old and you're 40 and you want my advice or help with anything, I'd let them know you're more than welcome to contact me if it's still possible. But I've had students who very often want a reference letter or something for university where they want to contact me. I have some students who, especially with university kind of right around the corner, have been dealing with some mental health issues that they've asked to talk about and, just have somebody to listen to and offer advice for, which I've been happy to do. I also run the philosophy club here at school, and I've even had some students who, even though they're now at university, have enjoyed the club and enjoyed the students as well that are in the club, that they still come back and participate every Friday at lunch, even though they have left the school and graduated. So it's really awesome getting to hear their experiences, and almost to a T, they all express that they felt much more prepared for university than they expected to be once they finally got there and experienced it.
Mike?
Pardon me. Yeah, again, I feel Sean and I have had very similar experience and both positive experiences here at Braemar as teachers. I remember in the very first class that I taught when I came in January of 2017, a class that actually Miss Schumacher got started for me, and then I was hired and happily took over with a very, very well-prepared lesson binder, I might add. And a student from that class who was amongst the most involved and ended up leading a lot of class discussions, became a little more connected to me in his last 2 years of school, went off to his first year of university, started to send me some of his work. He was working in philosophy as well. And through our back and forth, it became clear that he, one, was more intelligent than I am, and two, had a deep focus in a specific field of philosophy that I was actually going to end up teaching the following term. So probably one of the cooler moments for any teacher is being able to bring a student back that you had taught years ago and watch from your desk as he leads a seminar in your class and takes some of the load off your shoulders, and probably does a better job than I would of explaining a very difficult topic to new students. And that was my first sort of experience with the joys of being a teacher lifetime, as Sean says, being a teacher to students who pass on but remain your students. And I've sort of followed up with a number of other students in similarly positive ways on the basis of that first one.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much. Now we can proceed to questions for our students. So let's start with Sasha. Sasha, why did you choose this school originally? And what made you feel welcome when you arrived? What were your first impressions?
So the initial reason why I chose this school, I was already living in Canada for about 6 years at that point. I initially chose the school mostly for a change of scene and my general interest in other cultures and beliefs and ethnicities and, you know, general diversity, as I had not experienced that in my previous schools. Now, I discovered Braemar through my parents. Despite being a Canadian citizen, I decided to attend out of sheer interest. And my first impression was very positive. I met with Virginia. She gave me a lovely sort of briefing about what to expect, and I proceeded into class ready to learn and meet new people. Also, I found that the student body was very warm and welcoming, especially for a newcomer. And also that despite the sheer diversity of nationality, there wasn't really any sort of clansmanship between people from the same country. People were talking with everybody. There wasn't really this sense of any tension in the air. It was just very nice and liberating.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Hiba, would you like to share your experience?
Sure. So basically, I chose this school because it was international, and like in my previous school, I was in an international school. So I decided to why not try it in a different country as well. And in terms of what made me feel welcome when I arrived, was the teachers were so they were so homely, they were so welcoming, and they didn't make you feel as if like you were a new student. They kind of included you right into the classroom. And my first impressions were that I was just really impressed by the diversity in the students, the student culture, and everyone's voice is always heard. Like if there's not one point where someone would feel left out, you would always have someone to talk to.
Thank you, Hiba. Dagukan.
Okay, so I was studying in a city called Windsor before I came to Canada. So I'm just going to echo Sasha again, since my experience is quite a bit like his. I just learned about Braemar from my friend from Turkey, which was in the same school as me when we were in middle school. So from him, I learned about Braemar. I came to here because of the schedule. it was all good, like the guidance service, which was compared to public school, which had 2,200 kids. And then diversity, I wanted to have like an experience, like an international experience in an international city, which was located right near University of Toronto. So yeah, that is why I choose Braemar instead of a public school.
Thank you, Dagokan. Dennis?
Yes, hello. So I chose the school because the school provides like a really good opportunity for students like from each country, like no matter from which country you came from, like you will always have an opportunity to study here. Like especially for my my personal interest in programming, like my choice of coming here was a really good choice because Canada actually is really advanced in technologies. So yeah, it was really good for me to pick the school, and also the experience that I had with many teachers in the school from my 3 years of studying here. I was really surprised that a lot of teachers actually are not biased and like don't and treat every student equally, and like I really like this.
Okay. Let's ask Sasha, was it easy to make friends for you here?
Exceptionally easy. In fact, my first friend at Braemar is in this call, Dennis Wojtuk. We met in art class, and I quickly struck up a conversation with him based on an art piece. Also, I found that it was relatively easy to make friends as the general student populace is extremely interested in other people and is rather sociable. Even the more introverted people within the school are willing to talk to people and learn about their background, their interests, and virtually everything about them. As someone who has rather unconventional interests for my age, I found it extremely easy to make friends, and friends that I will consider lifelong friends until I'm in the grave. So I believe that it is that due to the openness of the school, that even eccentric students can do well, and that I think that everyone who attends can make at least one good friend.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Hiba?
I was gonna say the same thing. It is easy to make friends, but I would say it's kind of on like both. Like it is easy, but it's also a little bit hard because I feel like in every school we like students have this problem. But with here, it's more as long as you're not shy and you're like able to have a conversation with someone else and you're open to have that conversation, then I think you'd be okay. And like you make a lot of friends, and you make friends that you learn different experiences from them and you learn new things.
Thank you very much, Hiba. Dagogan?
So yeah, it was surprisingly so easy to make friends, like compared to what I had in my first school. Like everyone is interested in your background, as Sasha said. Like, yeah, on my first class, I met with Hiba on my English class, and so even though I was absent on the first 2 days, trying to get COVID tested, and then other than that, it's so easy and easy to meet with people, and you're really enjoying your time with activities, etc.
Thank you, Dagokan. Dennis?
Yeah, like I will echo all of my fellow classmates that already mentioned. Like, yeah, it is really easy to make friends in this school, even though you might have some problems with language, as I used to have like in the beginning. But as Sasha already mentioned, like he was my first friend that I actually started talking in English with. So as I more talked with him, I practiced my English skills more and more. So yeah, and this is how like I get to know, like to meet new people, new friends every day in the school.
Thank you very much. So Sasha, who's your favorite teacher and why?
So this is a rather difficult question, as there are many good teachers at Braemar and some fantastic teachers. However, I would bestow that award to Mr. Halsby. Sorry, Mr. Dunsmore. I bestow that award to Mr. Halsby as I found that he, as a teacher, allowed me to grow my strengths as a leader and also allow me to project my ideas in a more fluent and a little less dogmatic way. He also gave me some important lessons in humility and allowed me to establish a student newspaper, which improved my writing skills. So overall, I think my favorite teacher was Mr. Halsby, as generally, not only he improved me academically, he also improved me with wisdom. So I believe that he's my favorite teacher.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Bravo, Mike.
That's an A+ answer, Sasha. Well done.
Hiba, please.
I don't think I can say I have a favorite teacher because as everyone's unique, everyone has their strengths. And I feel like all teachers, you have a different experience with them. So it's like you always learn something new from another teacher. They always pick on strengths and weaknesses that other teachers can't pick up. So I think everyone, like all teachers are like my favorite teachers, I guess.
Okay, Hiba, again, then what is your favorite subject?
My favorite subject? Arts, I think.
Thank you very much, Hiba. Dogukan?
It's a tough one. I have to check if I don't have a teacher. Okay, like I don't want to fail classes, even though I didn't have a classes with him. My favorite teacher is probably Mr. Dosmore, because like learning English as a foreign language, it's like you have to learn the public mouth, I would say. So that Mr. Dosmore helped me improve my humorous ways in English.
Thank you, Dogukan. Dennis?
So actually, I have two favorite teachers. It's Mr. Dunsmore and Mr. Halsby. The reason behind this is because Mr. Dunsmore was my first teacher in the school, and like he was really warm towards me, and like he actually explained everything about the school, and like he introduced me to the student body as well, like to the school activities and what the Canada is about and what it's like to be a Canadian student. And Mr. Halsby, he was the one who actually motivated me to do even more than just studying here. Mr. Halsby motivated me to become a student leader, and this is where I am right now. Like this is who I am right now. I'm helping students. I'm helping maybe some teachers sometimes, and like yeah, that's it. Like yeah.
Thank you very much. I guess Sean and Mike, they deserve some kind of bonus now, or some, because yeah, this is something unbelievable. Anyway, guys, Sasha, what advice would you give to the students who are thinking about joining Braemar College in future?
As I am not an international student, I don't feel too qualified to give too much advice. However, socially for Braemar, I believe that if you are feeling very timid when coming to school, relax a little bit and get to know your teachers, as they are always willing to guide you. If you're having issues with, say, connecting with the student population, or if you're just a little shy and not really ready to open up, most, if not all, of the teachers are willing to support you and help you break out of that initial shell. I also, a quick little advice is that because Braemar is on the fast track program with taking 2 classes for about 3 months, you should maintain a strong work ethic and stay on top of your work, as it is easy to quickly fall behind if you do not maintain your work and you do not communicate with your teachers. However, if you do have a legitimate reason for falling behind, like I said, your teachers are absolutely willing to guide you and assist you in future endeavors.
Thank you, Sasha. Hiba?
I would just say that no one is judging you in the school. Like you don't have to feel as if someone doesn't want to be your friend or doesn't want to talk to you, because honestly, it's just in your head. So like in reality, everyone just kind of wants to be friends and they're just too shy to approach each other. So honestly, just be yourself, be involved, and like just try your best, because everything's probably just gonna fall into place.
Okay, the advice is don't be shy. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Dogukan.
So like the most important advice I would give is joining the clubs. Since like Bremer has like 400 students, not like public schools, and it will be much easier for new students to join, to participate with other students rather than just classes. Like I don't want to say anything about specific to some clubs because I have to give so many information about them, and I don't want to leave them in the air, but overall I would suggest every student to join some club for their interest.
Thank you, Maxim.
So
Dennis, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
it's okay. Yeah, I will repeat what my classmates already said. Like, don't be shy. Like, this is a major, like, this is really important to not be shy, because if you're shy, you're basically like just losing an opportunity, like to meet new people, to meet new friends, to meet with teachers, to be involved in any kind of activities in the school. So yeah, like, just don't be shy and like try to get involved into school.
Thank you, Dennis, very much. Sasha, what are your plans for future after the high school, if you have any plans?
I have two plans. One's sort of a plan A. There's a plan B. My main plan is to pursue the humanities and most of the natural sciences in university, and hopefully work towards a doctorate in Enlightenment history, which is the period between 1690 to about 1810. However, another plan that one of my teachers has kind of turned me on to is possibly becoming an entrepreneur and starting a small co-op business. But my main plans are academic, and I feel that Braemar has sufficiently prepared me for those endeavors.
Thank you, Sasha. Hiba?
I want to pursue the arts, so I kind of want to go into architecture and like interior designing.
Thank you, Hiba. Dagokan?
Okay, so mine is a bit complicated since I want to lean on academics, and it's going to be like at least 8 years. I want to study biology and then probably medical school after that, which after medical school, I want to do a business on medicine industry, which I don't want to give much information about it since I want to, like, it's a competitive market and I want to keep all the shares for myself.
Thank you, Dagokan. Dennis?
So I'm pursuing to become a software engineer. So basically, it just includes to develop softwares and like to test them and like program a lot of different stuff. Like, it seems complicated, but for real, it's not that complicated.
Thank you, all of you guys. This was great. I think all of the people who participated, who joined us today, learned lots of information from you. And I would like, if anybody have any questions from our audience, please, we are happy to answer. You can ask with voice, and you can type this information as well. Also, I would like to mention that in September 2020, Bremer College celebrated its anniversary. It's been 25 years. And because of our anniversary, we are giving out some scholarships for international and Canadian students. And in addition to that, the students who apply by January 15 will get the discount on the application fee. So you will save yourself $300 if you apply now. So I strongly recommend you to apply right now. Yeah, this is Adam. Send us the link to scholarship anniversary information. So please go ahead and check it out. If anybody have any questions, again, don't be shy. Don't feel like you are one of those students who just arrived.
Actually, Tamara, I have no questions, but I would like to share my experience with the reopening borders from, for example, for Brazilians. And for example, we are very, very happy the Canadians are open right now. but the VAC, the VAC still closed in São Paulo or in Brazil, and the student is not able to get a student permit to go to Canada. But we are very, very optimistic that we will open very soon. The thing is, we are saying our students to apply the visa, to send the documents, to do the exams, to do everything. It just wait for the biometrics, so they are able to go to Canada. So we are saying to our students, don't wait to biometry open. Well, don't wait to the VAC open to apply your visa. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you, Beatrice. You actually reminded me that just today the federal and provincial government opened the borders for the students who are coming for secondary schools. Today, the students who applied and got their visas, doesn't matter when, before or after March 18th, they can come to Canada. So that's what we learned today. And we have a question from one of our students, students Arafat. He got admitted to Braemar College and got accepted recently to University Pathway Program, and he's supposed to start on November 13th. However, they are still waiting for the visa. And the question is whether should they transfer the start date for February or to start in November. It's absolutely up to you. It depends. I could look at your situation closer, so you can start online. It would be the same experience because many of our students are joining online right now. For example, Sasha, the students we were talking before, he's located in Canada, but he preferred to study online because his family and him, they think it's safer to stay and study from home. So we have the format when the students are sitting in class. There are some students in class, and then some students participate online. Students from all over the world can join to class, and they would feel the same. Just that they will be treated the same. Just the difference might be the time difference. It's probably more convenient to be here in Canada. But you can send me an email. You can send me your email address, please, and I can talk to you in more detail after the open house. At the moment, for the students who are coming for the secondary school who are studying in Ontario, we received this update today, and if they have visa, they can come. We will definitely double check it again, because the situation is very recent, very new. Okay, Sarah, question for you. Could you please tell us a little bit more about the University Pathway Program? Sarah is actually the Pathway Program Coordinator in Bremer College. She maintains all the agreements with colleges and universities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So when a student first gets to Braemar, they let us know what program they're interested in applying to. So for instance, we'll have art and design, business, sciences, or engineering. And what we do in guidance is select the courses that would help you get admitted into a university or college program. So we put you on track right from the beginning. And of course, if you're starting in grade 9 or 10, you might not be sure of what program you want to do, but we'll help you discover your interests. And I'm sure by taking the classes at Braemar, you'll be more familiar with what kind of subjects and what kind of program you'd be interested in applying to. But we do have 4 pathway scholarships to U of T, Waterloo, York, and Ryerson. And so the student who's shown, been involved in the school and has excellent grades will be awarded this scholarship in June. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah. And I have a question, and the question from another student. If they start in February, how long when the academic year will be finished for them. So the thing is that Bremer, we have 5 start dates a year. The students can start in September, in November, in February, in April, and even in July. So it is actually up to the student when they want to finish their academic year. For instance, if they want to progress faster and they want to finish up sooner, they have this opportunity and they can study in summer, although they will not have summer holidays, or they will have some, but they would be shorter. They would have just 2 weeks in June and another, if I'm not mistaken, 3 weeks in August. So in total, you will have 5 weeks of summer holidays. That's actually the beauty of Bremer College, because you can progress faster and finish and get your diploma faster and go into university or college of your dream as soon as possible. I hope I answered your question. So anything else? Yeah, so Adam sent some links for university preparation program. Thank you, Adam. And dates. Thank you. Thank you, Nigina. We're looking forward to welcome you in February here. Anybody else? Any other questions? Maybe some, any of our participants would like to add something if they, for example, they forgot to mention something. Anybody?
I can pop in for a second. The one thing when you were asking our students for their tips or their advice for a new student getting here that I would like to mention is that Braemar College is physically located in a really, really interesting and unique spot. Even for somebody like me who grew up in the city of Waterloo, quite close to Toronto, and grew up even as a kid making trips into Toronto and seeing as much of it as possible as the big city in my country. I never experienced it the way that I experience it now, coming into school each day, right in the dead center of downtown. The vibrancy, the multiculturalism, the different lifestyles that you get to encounter on a regular basis, just walking the streets around this school. And then of course, being able to, if you want to take a nice break or have a place to read, walk right into the University of Toronto campus and experience what they have to offer. There's museums all around us. There's concert venues all around us. There's sporting facilities everywhere. And so I think though the students had some very good points about advice for when you first arrive in our school, my advice would be don't just stay in our school. When you get here, take advantage of this space and explore both your neighborhood where you'll be living and the neighborhood around us, because having seen a little bit of the world, not nearly enough, this place still strikes me as very special. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Mike, if you could mute yourself.
Apologies.
Thank you, everybody else for joining us today. I will keep the room open still, but we were gonna finish up. That's pretty much everything we would like to share with you today. We're very excited and we hope that we'll have more open houses, and we would like to welcome anybody who is in Toronto, who lives in Toronto, or who visits Toronto to join us. Please, we will send the follow-up email later, providing all the links that Adam sent in our chat. So we will be happy to have you here with us, and thank you for joining us today.